Episode 13, June 3rd, 2011.
Howard and Kevin opened your mail.
Fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing. I want to get into it, man. You know, like a sex machine, man. Moving, doing it, you know. Can I count it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Get up, get on up. Get up, get on up. Like a sex machine on the scene or something like that.
Wow, if that doesn't get everybody up and ready for podcast number 13, I don't know what would.
I like how you got right into it there. You jumped right into the song.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. I was hoping the band would come in, but they didn't.
Can I count it off? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Get up. Yeah, that's good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Brown. I like how they always say that. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Brown. They just say that about 15 times in a row.
Yeah.
And he would come out, he'd go back in, he'd come out, he'd go back in.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Brown.
He's dead.
That's sad.
Oh, that's a shame.
He was the godfather of soul, Kevin.
But not the godfather hip-hop, because that was Gil Scott-Heron, who also died.
Oh, he died recently. That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought I'd bring it down, because we were really up, so I thought I'd, mention how everybody's dead.
What I liked is that James Brown had at least 4 nicknames that I can think of. Probably more.
Yes.
But, so he was the godfather of soul.
He was.
He was Mr. Dynamite.
Okay, yeah.
He was Soul Brother number 1.
Okay, yes.
At one point in his long career. And he was the hardest working man in show business.
Oh, right, of course. I knew that one.
So
all right.
That's pretty cool. I don't even have one nickname.
No. Me neither. Nobody. I think you have to be a certain kind of special person to get a nickname. I don't really have.
Actually, Howard is my nickname.
Is it?
Yeah, my real name is
James Brown.
Murgatroyd.
Heavens to Murgatroyd. Anyway, everyone, welcome to the Howard and Kevin Open Your Mail podcast.
Can I count it off?
It's episode 13.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's an unlucky number, but it's a lucky podcast for us because it's going to be a good one. I can just feel it.
It
right
is
now.
good. I know. Lucky number 13. It's the Baker's Dozen episode.
It is. Yeah, it's the one that gets thrown in. Because I think we talked about that on the last podcast.
Yes, we did. So everyone, all of you folks out there who have paid for the first 12, you're getting this one for free.
That's right. And you've all paid, right?
Yeah, please send in your checks immediately.
Yeah, because my PayPal account is still at 0.
Well, thank you all for listening and joining us
that's
this
the
week.
thing you say at the end of the show.
Oh, okay.
Have we ended already? I mean, it's been
Good night, everybody.
It's been a long intro. We're about 2:46 in, and we haven't even got to a letter yet.
All right, well, let's settle down here and get ourselves organized, shall we?
I'm calm.
Okay,
I'm calm.
ready?
I'm calm. You want to read the first letter?
No, we're not ready for that.
Oh, what?
We're still getting set up here. We're still
all
doing
right.
our
The intros and stuff?
Yeah.
All right, Howard.
Officer.
How are you?
I'm fine. It's good to be here. Thank you for getting us going here for episode number 13.
Yes.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And subscribe to us on iTunes. And send us mail at HowardandKevin.com. And go to our website at HowardandKevin.com.
You just said that twice.
Did I say that?
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
all right.
Did I say that? I don't think I said that.
I think you said that.
I said Facebook. I said Twitter.
We'll go back. HowardandKevin.com. HowardandKevin.com. See, twice. You said it twice there.
I don't know. Let's find out. But that'll have to be a follow-up for us. I'll have to unsay one.
Oh, our screw-ups now are the follow-ups of tomorrow.
All right, Kevin. If you really want to get going here...
Well, I'm thinking.
Make it funky.
Okay. Do you want to read our first letter?
You want me to go?
Sure.
Okay. All right, folks. Ready? Here we go. The first letter of episode 13. Let's call this 113.
Okay.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Season
13-1, maybe. 131.
Okay, all right.
We number all our letters in some obscure,
Are we in the first season of the Howard and Kevin podcast?
I guess so.
Oh, okay.
So it's
when does that end?
Season 1, episode 13, letter 1. So it's like 113-1.
Okay, I got
113A, maybe.
No, A is good. Letter number A.
But if we say letter A, then that's confusing. right? Because the word letter has two meanings. We just busted the English language wide open!
Finally! Someone's taken the English language to task.
Get up off of that thing!
Okay, letter number A1.
Dear Howard and Kevin.
That's us.
I'm planning a trip out of the country in a couple of weeks with a person I only barely know.
Okay.
Is this a good idea, or should I run for the hills?
Oh, that's kind of funny.
Says Ian from Vancouver, British Columbia.
Oh, British Columbia is lovely.
Yes, it is.
Lovely place. And they're going, the team there is going to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Vancouver Canucks.
Playoffs.
Have you noticed
Stanley Cup final?
I've noticed in the newspaper, I've never heard this before, that in newspaper headlines, they're referring to them as the Nucks.
The Nucks.
Yeah, like apostrophe Nucks. Like Canucks isn't enough of a short form of Canadians. They're now calling them
The Nucks.
Canucks. Or sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Nucks. The
Oh my
Nucks.
God.
The Nucks won their game last night. That's ridiculous to me. That's stupid.
Nyuk, nyuk, nyuk. Yeah,
Have
it's
you
like
ever
something
heard like that?
That's very weird. It's like the Three
Anyway,
Stooges.
so,
I've never heard that. That's really dumb.
So Ian is from the land of the Nucks.
So he's asking about the Nucks, but I can't remember what the
So
letter
he's
was.
planning a trip out of the country.
Oh yeah, okay.
In a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Okay, with a person he only barely knows.
I'm not sure what that means.
Well, it's interesting. So why would you go on a trip with a person you only barely know?
I don't know. Maybe it could be a work colleague. Maybe it's a business trip.
That's possible, yes.
Or it's, maybe it's just like they both want to go somewhere and they said, look, we can save some money here by staying together and stuff. Okay, anyway.
That could be, yeah.
Okay, so he's just wondering if this is a good idea.
Or maybe it's one of those situations where, like, three people were going to go, and the one person in the middle who knew both of them really well.
Oh, yeah.
And then that person, like, dropped out.
Oh, no, that happened to me. That actually happened to me. Yeah. About, like, I don't know, 12 years ago or something. I had a friend who wanted to go to Boston, Massachusetts. And I wanted to go too. So they were going to go, and I would go along with them. But my friend dropped out. So then I ended up going to Boston with this other person who I barely knew.
Oh my God.
That's so funny. That's what the letter... Yeah. Okay, it's the
Ian
same.
and you are...
apparently in sync.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ended up going... See, this is interesting because the trip was okay, but towards the end it got pretty bad. And this has actually happened to me 3 times. I've been to Boston with somebody where most of the trip went fine, but then this person... It's always women too, actually, oddly enough. Where it seems like throughout the trip they just start to hate me. Which I think...
Why?
I don't know. There's something about traveling with me that makes people angry at me, I think. I must be doing something that I don't really understand. Because I think I'm a pretty, good person to go on a trip with.
Were you sharing a room? Were you in the
Yeah,
same...
it was all sharing a room situations and stuff. But it just seems like towards the end of the trip, they start hating me. Because I've been to Boston with that person who I didn't know that well. And towards the end of the trip was just so sick of me that she was just, it was like open contempt kind of thing. I was like, I'm not even going to sit beside you on the bus. That kind of thing.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then I went with a closer friend to Montreal once. And for some reason, we had this big fight on the way home. We drove, and on the drive back, we had this big fight. And then I went to New York with another person who was kind of not a close friend, but and towards the end, yeah, she absolutely hated me. So yeah, there's something about me it's not good. So maybe that's my message to Ian in Vancouver, BC. That be very wary of your behavior on the trip because they might end up hating you towards the end of it.
Well, I mean, I do think at the heart of this whole thing, when you travel with anyone,
Mm-hmm.
Traveling is a very sort of intimate thing to do together in the sense that you're with the other person, kind of 24 hours a day in a rather involved thing to do. It's not like you're just sitting around, right? You're trying to go places, you're trying to do things, you're trying to see stuff.
True.
You're trying to, make sure you've got a list of everything you want to accomplish. And so if you and the other person are not compatible in how you see the approach to the vacation,
right?
Some people are lie around at the pool people, and some people are see every possible sight there is to see people.
Exactly.
Right? And I'm sure there's a million other variations.
If I really look deep into myself, I think it might have to do with the fact that I'm not that decisive when it comes to making decisions. So maybe these people wanted me to make a few more decisions on the trip. Like sometimes I leave it up to them to decide what we're going to do. So maybe that's what I need to work on is the forceful.
Well, my advice.
This podcast has become more self-help than I thought it would be. That's interesting.
What I always like to do if I ever go anywhere,
yes,
I like to plan ahead and get it all figured out ahead of time.
Right, which is smart.
Make a whole chart, a whole list, a whole tour, like a whole plan, because I like to.
You research for years.
I have done that.
Yes.
And people always think to me, "Oh, that's so much work. That's so much work." But I always feel like the time that I'm actually on the vacation is very precious, right? It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's a limited period of time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to waste that time that I've saved up for or whatever.
Yeah.
So if I go to any kind of place, I want to be able to go there and know what I want to do and what order to do it in is the most efficient. And then I don't have to feel like I spent half my trip standing around going, well, what do you want to do?
Exactly.
What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do?
I think we've gotten to the problem here because I do none of that. See, because most of these trips, those three I just described, for example, those were planned within days of you know. So yeah, like we had nothing planned and it was all very spur of the moment. So yeah, like
so perhaps our advice to Ian is that
make a plan.
Maybe he and this other person should have a conversation before they go to discuss what kind of traveling they are into.
Yes.
You know, they might be very compatible, they might not be.
Yeah.
In which case they might just, maybe in that case you just make an arrangement, well, then let's meet for dinner every night. You know, and you go do your thing and I'll do my thing. You know?
Yeah.
I want to do my thing! But I like how he says, is this a good idea or should I run for the hills?
I know, that's funny, because that in itself is kind of a trip. I mean, he's running for the hills.
Yes.
I mean, it's not often people say, so what are you doing this weekend? I'm running for the hills.
Yeah. Although when you're in Vancouver, you know, they're right there. Right?
They are, yeah. You just walk right into the...
You can go from the sea to the mountains in...
like 5 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So perhaps running for the hills might be an idea.
Wow.
But, I think, talk to the person ahead of time to discuss what you're going to do, and depending on what kind of trip it is, plan ahead.
Wow, I think we gave actual good information there.
I do too.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Howard and Kevin open your mail and help you.
Maybe that's what we could transition to. If the comedy thing doesn't really work out with the podcast, we'll just transfer right into self-help. Because Oprah's gone. Somebody's got to fill that Oprah slot.
Oh my God.
I know.
We
could be the new Oprah.
That would be good. I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, okay. All right, so that was letter number A1.
Here's
on to
B2. 1X.
So our second letter is as follows. Dear Howard and Kevin, spring is here, and I have a question about white pants. That's interesting.
All right.
Well, we all know it's unacceptable to wear white pants after Labor Day. Isn't that like not feeding a gremlin after midnight? It's always after Labor Day. He makes a good point there.
Oh,
That's true.
I see what you're getting at.
So my question is, when is it okay to start wearing white pants? Urgent and desperate. That was Jeff from Brampton.
Oh, Jeff from Brampton.
That is a repeat letter writer.
I think we've heard from Jeff from Brampton before. Thank you, Jeff. Good to hear from you, and a very interesting question. Now, I don't mean to be a party pooper.
Okay.
I'm going to just be a pooper. Well, I don't mean to be a party pooper, but I think Jeff is actually missing part of that saying.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that the thing about not wearing white pants, if you really look into the sort of oldie-fashioned etiquette guides,
yes,
I think the thing is you can only wear white between Memorial Day and Labor Day.
Ah, okay.
So I get what he's saying. He thinks that the expression is just you can't wear it after Labor Day,
right?
Which is like it's always after Labor Day, right?
Yes,
that is a funny thing. I get what he's saying there. But I think the actual thing is you can't wear it between... Memorial Day is in the States has just passed, right? So it's around the end of May.
Right.
Until Labor Day. So basically for the summer.
I see.
So this brings up a number of different points.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, just going back to his original point that it's always after Labor Day.
Yeah.
I know, that is kind of
If
funny.
he had never... Yeah, like if the Memorial Day thing that you just mentioned hadn't existed,
right,
then this rule would have been applied only once. And that would be after the first Labor Day ever.
And then you could never wear them.
You could never wear... Yeah, it's like they'd have to abolish white pants. after that. Whenever the first Labor Day was.
I guess that it always makes me think, like let's say your birthday was, whatever, July 1st, let's just say.
Okay.
I always
Canada
wonder,
Day?
If today, okay, not July 1st, then, for goodness sake. Let's just say
December 25th.
Let's say you're Jesus.
Okay.
Let's say your birthday is July 10th.
Okay, yeah.
Now, if it's July 11th...
Bosnia Independence Day? No, I'm just kidding.
If today is
Yes.
July 11th,
Yes.
say,
Uh-huh.
does that mean it's 1 day away from your birthday? Or does that mean it's 364 days away from your birthday? Because time only passes in one direction.
That's true. Wow, you just blew my mind.
So if you're having a contest at work and it's like whoever, or at a bar or something, pulling a thing out of a hat, whose birthday is closest to today wins a prize.
Yes.
If your birthday was 3 days ago, is yours closest or is yours furthest?
Oh, jeez, I can't.
I've thought about that over the years when I've lost contests.
It's happened so many times.
He points out the whole thing about the movie Gremlins, right? He's referencing Gremlins, where if you feed the gremlin after midnight, what happens? It turns into a bad guy or something.
Well, I think so. Yeah. I think you.
A bad guy.
It's not about feeding a gremlin after midnight. I think it's about feeding a mogwai after midnight.
Oh,
that's the little furry thing they start out as. Then you feed them, and then I can't remember.
This
what
is
happens.
the information you get on the Howard and Kevin podcast.
That's right. Yeah.
Mogwai, is it? I never would have remembered
it's a mogwai.
that. So if you feed the mogwai after midnight, it turns into a gremlin.
Well, no, he seemed to have. Well, we don't really need to get into this, but I think in the movie he sprouted kind of like pods or something that became gremlins.
Which were bad.
Were little bad, yeah.
Right.
That was from getting him wet. I don't know. I don't remember Gremlins that well now.
So, but I guess the point Jeff is making is, at what point is it not after midnight?
Right.
Is it become
6
Is it at
a.m.?
noon? Is it 6 a.m.?
Yeah,
is it when the sun comes up? What is it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a little flaw in the story there.
That's true. That little flaw about the story about the little creatures that come out and try to destroy the car.
We should make a new remade Gremlins and fix that.
Fix that little flaw?
Point. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So when I of course we all have heard this thing about not being able to wear white
after Labor Day. Yeah.
I always, when I was a kid, used to think about, well, why is that? And I always wondered if it was because I always, in my mind as a kid, pictured someone wearing all white pants and shoes and everything, and thinking that the reason was that was a bad idea was that if you wore that through the winter, that you would like disappear. No one would be able to see you.
You get hit by a snowplow.
Yeah, exactly. Be walking down the street just all in white in the snow.
And it's just, oh, look, there's a pair of floating eyes there. What is that? There's a guy wearing white after Labor Day.
See, that's why.
That's why. Okay, that makes
you.
sense. I mean, that's a practical reason, because I don't think there is a practical reason why you can't wear white after Labor Day. That seems like the kind of rule that's made up by Ponzi rich guys.
Yes.
Who,
I'm sure that now those rules of etiquette, of fashion
are
etiquette,
way out the window.
Are sort of relaxed.
Yeah, I think.
But I do think that since we are in the spring summer period that we're talking about, I think Jeff should immediately go out. You know what? I don't even care about the white pants. What I want to see Jeff from Brampton wearing is white patent leather shoes and a white belt.
That's a good look. That is a great look.
That's what I want to see.
Yep. All right, I fully support
But only till Labor Day. Can you wear it on Labor Day?
I don't know. Ask some
What
Ponzi
if it's
rich guy.
actually Labor Day? Then you're sort of on the edge there.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm not sure there's any hard and fast rule about that.
All right, Jeff. Thank you for your letter. I hope we've cleared that up for you. But it is always after Labor Day.
Yeah.
And by the way, speaking of Labor Day, power to the people.
Is that what Labor Day is all about?
Power to the people.
Anyway, we should get on to another letter. What do you think?
All right, sounds good.
All right. This one is from Johnny in Keswick, Ontario. Lovely little town in southern Ontario.
Just a little north of Toronto.
It is indeed.
On Lake Simcoe.
That's correct. Dear Howard and Kevin, I'm watching the ball game on TV, and there's a guy right behind home plate who keeps waving. I've seen these guys. Do I know him? Thanks for clearing that up. That's a funny question.
It is, and I'll tell you, Johnny in Keswick, Ontario, you have hit a nerve, baby.
Uh-oh. What has this started?
Oh, man, I hate those guys.
Okay.
Like, come on. Okay, so firstly, you've got, like, very expensive, excellent seats a lot of the time, right?
Yes.
Sometimes you see these guys right behind the plate in the front row. These seats are hundreds of dollars.
Yep.
Or if it's at a basketball game, they're thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah.
And this idiot is often sitting there on the phone,
Right.
waving at the camera. If you look right now, you can see me.
Oh,
I'm
I
waving.
know.
It's like
That's so hacky.
It's just
Yeah.
so. You just look
It's
like
lame.
such an idiot.
You do, yeah.
Or or you see like if you're watching a sporting event and there's two reporters standing, or a guy, talking to one of the athletes, asking questions, and then some goofball comes up behind them and like waves. Hey, look at me! I'm on TV. I'm on TV. It's like, oh my god, what an idiot! Jim Brown, who was the famous running back for the Cleveland Browns way back in the...
Not to be confused with James Brown.
No, hey!
Get on up!
Get on the scene! No, Jim Brown.
Yes.
But he was well known for being a guy who never flaunted it, right? If he scored a touchdown,
Right.
he didn't do a dance and he didn't spike the football.
Right, yes.
He just handed the football to the referee and ran back to the bench.
Yeah, it's classy.
Because to him it was like, that's what I do. I score touchdowns.
Yeah.
And these idiots need to get a little touch of that classiness. You
Right,
know what?
I know what you're
Nod, smile, fine,
Right.
whatever. But
Okay.
watch the freaking ball game and just stop worrying so much about being on TV. These people at ball games. I'll tell you what. You know
Okay.
what?
Yeah.
This whole thing. Don't let me get started here. Don't get me started. You know what I'm saying? It's bothered me for many years.
Okay, yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
And I think I have a solution. So here's what bothers me is that you go to a ball game.
Uh-huh.
Now, you and I, we're not rich guys, right? We're not seasons ticket holders. We're not guys who have tons of money to buy super fancy seats way down low.
No.
But people like us, we like going to a game once in a while.
Yeah.
People are, you might be a fan. And so sometimes you end up getting stuck with some ticket way up top there. But you're okay because you just want to be at the ball game. You just want to enjoy yourself and you want to watch the game. But what really bugs me is you look down into the really expensive seats, and firstly, half of them are empty.
True.
So that annoys me.
Yes.
And then secondly, a half of the ones that aren't empty are people who are sitting there like they're probably trying to, do some deal with their client or
Right,
something,
yeah.
or they're just talking about some nose job that one of them is going to have or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, it's like, okay, I don't mind that you come to a ball game.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun. I understand that you want to have a conversation with your friend. You want to enjoy yourself. You want to drink a beer. You want to relax.
Uh-huh.
I'm okay with the idea that you come down there just to be part of the social, fun atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't need to be sitting down in the front seats to do that.
Yeah.
So here's what I propose.
Okay, all right.
Here's what I propose.
All right, I like it.
Every time you go to a ball game,
Yes.
you buy a ticket which is generic. It doesn't say where you're going to sit.
Okay.
And then when you arrive, you are handed a questionnaire.
Yeah.
And the questionnaire is a series of questions which tests you on A, your knowledge of the game,
Okay.
B, your interest in the game,
Yeah.
and in the teams that are playing, and how much you care about them,
Yeah.
and in how much enthusiasm you're prepared to show at the game, how much cheering, how much attention you're going to pay,
Right.
and how much the opposite, how much you're probably just there to chit-chat with your friend.
Okay.
Okay. Then, based on the results of this test, you were assigned a seat.
I see. Okay.
And let's be clear, I don't care if you don't really understand the game.
Yeah.
If you want to know, if you're a newcomer to the game, but you want to, but you're interested in learning, and you want to go down and you want to ask a good question, you want to watch and you want to learn, that's okay too. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's only for the experts.
Okay.
But the people who are enthusiastic about the game,
Right.
they then get assigned their ticket.
Yes.
I think we'd have a computer program. And your ticket is the good ones.
All right.
So the people who are enthusiastic and who are going to cheer and who are going to watch and who are going to pay attention and who are probably not going to get killed by a foul ball because they weren't looking,
Yes.
those are the people who get to sit down low.
Okay. Yeah.
And the fans hear, the players hear them because they're fans and they're cheering and everything. And the people who just want to chat and do a thing and not really pay attention to the game, they can sit way back up there.
Right. It's perfect. I love it.
And they still get to come, and they still get to be in the ballpark.
Yeah. They can do their deal, but they're up in the 500.
Right, but they don't have to take the good seats.
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
What do you think?
I love it. Done.
So that's my thing. And then maybe what we could do to save time is that once you've filled out the questionnaire once, you could be assigned some sort of code. So when you come next time, I'm 5378.
Yeah,
You know.
maybe everybody could have some sort of, maybe a barcode on the back of the neck or something.
Yeah.
They just get scanned when they go in.
Yeah.
And or maybe in Minority Report, it's all by your eye. They scan your eye and they know who you are, and you get assigned immediately. Your seat.
Yeah, you get your seat.
Yeah.
Because so that's the thing that bugs me is you see in those people, and what you end up with in the ballpark is the people who are close are not paying attention. The people who are far away are the big fans.
They're either not paying attention or they're paying attention to their friends at home.
Yeah,
sitting
waving.
there on their cell phones waving. Yeah.
But I don't know. I'll tell you, there's a lot of goofballs at the ballpark, Kevin.
There are. Oh, I know.
You know who else bugs me at the ballpark?
Who's that?
These guys.
We really hit on a nerve
Who
here.
think
Yes.
that it's a great idea,
Uh-huh.
that it's really important
Right.
that they start the wave.
Oh, the wave. Yeah.
I could kill these guys. I am telling you. These guys make me nuts because the worst thing so here's what happens, right? You're sitting at the game, you're watching the game, whatever, and these four goofballs will stand up and will say, "Okay, everybody, we're going to start the wave." Like they're doing us some kind of favor.
Yeah. It's often the drunken guys with no shirts on.
Yeah. And they, of course, the wave has been around for 30 years.
Yeah,
right?
we're
It's
all
not
tired
some
of the
big
wave.
novelty or something.
Yeah.
It was exciting in 1984.
I think there's
mean?
certain waves that are still going from the 70s. I think there's certain waves that started in Minneapolis and they're just reaching Tokyo now.
That's right. So these guys, and you know what I love. What I really love, and not when I say that ironically, what I really love about these guys is if it doesn't go, right? If they say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, then they get mad.
Yeah,
the crowd, you people suck. You people are jerks not starting the wave. And we're there's a ball game on, right?
I know.
We're trying,
the wave is the stupidest, most pointless thing in the world, right?
And I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
Another thing.
Okay.
Because I've already said one or two things.
All right.
Here's my advice to these jerks and to the rest of the world.
Yes.
If you're at a baseball game,
Uh-huh.
and if you really, for some unexplained reason, need to do the wave,
Yes.
let me explain something about baseball. It is supposed to happen when your team is at bat.
Right.
How many times do these morons start the wave when their team is pitching?
Yeah.
The pitchers are looking up in the stands going, why are they rooting against me?
Yeah.
Why is the crowd cheering so loud
Yeah.
when I'm trying? This guy is trying to put a curveball on the outside corner here, and we're supposed to be quiet and let him do that.
Yeah.
Cheer when he throws a strike, but say to him, "Hey, throw strikes,
Yes.
Flanagan!" But don't cheer. Don't start a whole big wave.
Poor Flanagan.
When your team is batting,
Yeah.
that is when you do the wave.
Yes.
If you felt that the wave was necessary, which it is not anymore. In
All right,
the year
wow.
2011.
We opened a scab there.
Tell me about it.
Jeez.
I want Johnny and Keswick to come to a ball game with me because I think Johnny's okay. Did I ever answer his question?
Well, really, he was just asking if he knew that guy who was waving. But I'm
because
I'm
I
pretty
think that's
sure he
his way of mocking.
I think
that's his way of making fun of that guy with
Right.
the phone and the waving. That's the same guy who probably starts the wave too.
Well, that was quite a rant there, Howard.
That guy, I want that guy sitting in the top row after he fills out his questionnaire. What is your plans for the game? I plan to wave at everyone.
Yeah.
On TV and not really pay attention to the game.
Yeah. Oh.
So he's up there in the top row of the stadium.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
All right. Well, I fully support that.
I can hardly even go to the game anymore. We get so mad.
Yeah.
I get so angry at these people. I want my own stadium with just me.
You're just furious. The whole game, you're furious. And then I'm like, Howard, we're up by 10. Well, it's 10-1. And you're like, no, it's horrible.
Jerks are waving.
I'm sick of it.
They're both waving and waving.
Yes.
They're both waving at the camera and doing the wave.
Yeah.
And it's...
there should be no waving in baseball.
Yeah, waves are out. Cheer.
Cheer. It's
Cheer.
fine. Yeah.
And you got to cheer nicely, by the way.
Yes.
I want people to understand about cheering.
Okay.
It's okay to say, "Hey, Flanagan, throw strikes."
Yes.
It's not okay to say, Hey, Flanagan, I hear your wife slept with Herbert Hoover. The personal stuff is no good.
Are you watching baseball games from like the 20s? What's going on there?
The guy who I was mocking there is not up in his history.
All right.
My point is, he was suggesting that Flanagan's wife was old.
Wow, even I needed that explained to myself.
The point is the guy, you can cheer for the players and cheer for your team, but don't be personal. Don't be profane and don't be personal.
Right.
There's families at the ballpark.
There are sometimes, yes.
Herbert Hoover.
Poor, sad, bored kids at the ballpark saying, I want to go to the hockey game.
Why can't we do the wave?
Yeah.
I thought they did the wave here. I was reading a history book from the early 80s, and I thought they did this.
Wow, that was a good one. We should do more letters that just have you go off on a rant. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you. Well, like we said, Johnny there, he hit a nerve.
He hit a nerve. Anyway, you know what time it is, Howard.
Uh-oh.
We do it every show. It's Howard with follow-ups. What do you got to follow up?
Well, thank you, Kevin.
If I'm not mistaken, and since this is episode 13, I'm thinking we're going to follow up episode 12.
That is correct.
And what did you have for us?
Well, I do. So for those of you who have not yet heard episode 12, if for some reason you're listening out of order,
which is crazy, ridiculous,
go back and listen to episode 12, and then come back and join us.
All right, should we wait? Should we wait while they listen to episode 12?
We put like a 35-minute gap in the This can just keep running.
Anyway, okay. So,
all right,
what do you got?
So, episode 12.
Okay.
The first thing I wanted to mention was one of the letters that we got in episode 12, which was from Sheila in Oakville, referenced something called the heritage moments.
Oh, yes. Right.
Remember? And we talked a little bit about those.
Yeah.
And the heritage moments, as we explained at the time, are something that have run on television in Canada, and they are 60-second little announcements, little dramatizations of Canadian history.
Right.
Moments of Canadian history.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we kind of asked the question, I wonder, where did they ever come from anyway? I wonder who sponsored them or whatever.
Okay.
So I just wanted to quickly mention they're actually officially called Historica Minutes.
Really?
Officially.
Wow.
And it's called History by the Minute by Historica Minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway. And they first began in 1991.
Oh, yes.
There was a program on television at that time that was dealing with Canadian history, and they made a few of these films, and then eventually the filmmakers decided to break them up into little 60-second sections and allow them to be seen on television across Canada. And they actually provide them free to Canadian television networks.
Okay.
So that's why they're
kind of like PSAs in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so apparently there are 74 of them.
74?
Yeah. So
Jesus.
apparently you can go to their website and you can...
I think I can only remember like 5 of them. What are those other 60?
Well, I don't know. You go to the website, the Historica Minute thing, and
and you can see them all?
Watch them all.
All right.
Remember the one about Jackie Robinson who started his professional baseball career?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Not his. Once he left the Negro Leagues, he started his professional white baseball career.
Oh,
with
right.
the Montreal Royals.
Oh,
so that was before he went up to the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Oh, that's good.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
And so they were, and remember last episode I said something about. Remember, there's one about the post office. And then we couldn't think of why there would be one.
Right.
I think I got mixed up because they were actually sponsored by Canada Post.
Okay.
So I think I somehow remembered the post office being part of it. And also Bell Canada have been sponsors.
I remember Bell Canada being sponsored.
So there you go, a little history of the history.
Wow, that's good. Okay.
So check those out. You can learn a lot about Canadian history in 1-minute chunks.
Okay, good.
You want to hear how Laura Secord saved the nation?
Do I?
That's where you go to find out.
Okay, good.
Okay, we talked about Mork.
Oh, good old Mork.
Mork from
Ork.
Mork and
Mindy.
And of course, the show was you had first said that you thought Mork was in Boulder, Colorado, and then you second guessed yourself.
That's right. I think I said Denver. Yeah,
but you were right the first time. It was Boulder, Colorado, where the show took place.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing about Mork, and I kind of remembered this at the time, but we didn't get into it, is that I think we did reference the idea that it was originally a spin-off of Happy Days.
Oh, yeah.
But what's so funny is that Happy Days took place in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the 50s.
Right.
And Mork from Work took place in Boulder, Colorado in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
So was
Mork an immortal being?
Well, no, apparently what happened is that they actually explained that away in, I think, maybe the first episode of
Is that
Mork and Mindy
right?
or something.
Oh, I have to
that
see
that
that.
Mork somehow left the 50s and then was reassigned to the late 70s to do
okay.
more. So he was traveling
To go
in
hang out with
time
Pam Dauber.
to learn more about human nature, or
I
whatever
see.
was his mission.
Okay.
So they somehow gave that an explanation that they time traveled him 20 years ahead or something like that.
Okay.
Now, do you remember his famous saying?
I certainly.
Go for it.
Nano.
Yes, that's right.
And Shazbot.
Yeah, that was like an Orcan swear word.
Was it? Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And kids, those sort of caught on for a while there.
I know.
That was kind of a cultural thing.
It'd be funny if that had really caught on. So, like, instead of like people saying the F word all the time here, it was just Shazbot all the time. you stub your toe, it's Shazbot! Oh, son of a Shazbot!
So if you're listening out there and you're too young to remember Mork and Mindy,
Yeah.
it starred Robin Williams
Correct.
as Mork, the alien,
And Pam Dauber as Mindy.
as the Earthling
Yes.
who befriended him.
And then Jonathan Winters, like, joined the cast on, like, the 5th season or something.
As their
son.
their child.
Yeah, because he reversed Benjamin Button-like from an old person to a young person.
yeah, that's how
they age backwards.
Do you remember the child's name?
Mirth.
Mirth.
Yes.
Very good. We're good.
Oh, we are good, yeah. Well, I watched a lot of Mork and Mindy when I was a kid. That was a after-school kind of show that I'd watch a lot. Reruns, of course.
The last follow-up
Hit me.
is that I kind of threw this out there at the end of the show so that we would have something to follow up.
Right.
Remember?
We were worried we didn't have anything to follow up. Yeah.
So I just kind of said, what's the capital of North Dakota?
Okay.
And
was...
And it turns out it's Bismarck.
Oh, Bismarck.
Bismarck.
Okay.
We weren't sure if it was Fargo or Bismarck.
Right.
I always get that mixed up. But it is Bismarck, even
Okay.
though Fargo is a larger city.
Yeah, that's weird when they do that.
Bismarck is the capital.
Yeah.
And I will just throw this out there, too. The reason I threw what's the capital of North Dakota out there as my question that would allow us to have something to follow up when I could have said anything, of course, was that I just felt like I wanted to say this out loud. It was actually my very, very secret and hidden little tribute to a comedy god that I admire, Groucho Marx.
Oh, yes.
Because there's a famous, well, maybe not famous, but there's an anecdote.
Okay.
If you read biographies of Groucho, turns out not only in the movies, but in real life, he was quite a funny guy.
Yeah.
And there's an anecdote that a lot of people tell when... And Groucho was known in the movies for having that big fake mustache, right?
He did, yeah.
So in real life...
It wasn't even a mustache. Like, it was painted on. It was like, it was like from the vaudeville days.
Yeah. And so in real life, when he didn't have that on, he was quite anonymous. He
could
that's
go
so funny. About his business,
they didn't
very few
recognize
people
him at
knew
all.
who he was.
Right.
Until later when he went on TV and everything, but that was much later.
Right. Yeah.
So apparently there's a story that some of Groucho's friends took him to this event, which was a big deal at the time. This was probably in the 30s or something like that.
Okay.
And it was a seance. So there was all this mysticism that was kind of a big fad at the time.
Right.
And they went to see this medium, this woman who was like, leader of the seance.
Mm-hmm.
And she was, very full of all this fancy stuff and making as if she was contacting people from the, other world and everything. And Groucho didn't, have much respect for this whole thing. So every time she would contact someone, she would say, does anyone have a question? And people would say, are you my grandfather?
Okay,
or, can you tell me whatever happened to my Aunt Susan? Or whatever.
Right.
So at the end of this whole thing, she said, I'm prepared to take one more question. So Groucho famously put up his hand and said, I have one. What's the capital of North Dakota? So apparently was actually, according to the anecdote, chased down the block by the by the believers. So
wow.
That's my very, very obscure.
That is an obscure reference.
Little Groucho Marx reference.
Yeah.
So the next time you're in Bismarck, North Dakota, Kevin.
Next Tuesday. Yes.
I want you to remember that story.
Okay, well.
And I want you to do a seance and call up the ghost of Groucho Marx.
I would like to.
That would be a twist.
That would be a twist.
He would be like,
yeah.
I was wrong all along.
I was wrong all along. Okay.
Oh, my
Wow.
goodness.
All right. Well, that's good follow-ups.
There you go. Thank you. That is following up. Should we close the follow-up?
Ladies and gentlemen, that was follow-ups with Howard.
Dun, dun.
Okay. Well, that was a show, I think.
Thank you, officer.
I think we got ourselves a show.
Yeah, I think it's a show.
And
thanks very much, everybody, for listening once again. Episode 13 of Howard and Kevin Open Your Mail is in the books.
It is.
And we really hope that you will go to our website, HowardandKevin.com.
Oh, yes.
That is where you can find the archive of all of our older shows. Here's this is 13. There are 12 other ones. 12
episodes.
that you can go back and listen to
My
and click on
God.
and read about and copy to CDs and burn them and
post them to Facebook and comment on them.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Oh yeah, share them with your friends, and you can like us on Facebook. And
you can like us on Facebook.
Follow us on Twitter.
Oh, we're all over Twitter.
And you can eat us on Twitbook. What?
That last one's not real, folks. Don't look for Twitbook.
And if you are clicking on this show on our website and you're an iTunes user, please be aware that we are on iTunes and you subscribe to us, and it can just pop into your iPod.
It'll just come to you automatically
every
time we release an episode.
So send us an email, everybody. Mail at HowardandKevin.com. We need your letters.
We do.
We answer them on the show. You see, if you've gotten through this entire episode without figuring that out, then I'm here to explain it to you.
Yeah. They might have just stumbled onto this somehow.
At this point.
Started playing on the computer.
Yeah.
Like, what's this?
Just picked it up here. So thanks for listening, everyone. Good to see you. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks, Howard. And don't forget, on HowardandKevin.com, you too can send us a letter, which we might just read and answer on.
Howard and Kevin opened your mail.